There's a very wise old saying that says, be careful what you wish for because you may just get it. And there we are. So if you're looking for content to mine, well, Jenna dropped a massive gold mine on everyone because, yeah, this video was very, very strange and very, very weird. I will say, just as one preemptive criticism, it was also very confusing because the thumbnail seems to have Jenna and Jenna. So it's normal Jenna and Jenna in a costume. And I don't think the costume makes any sense because the subject is trolls, at least from the title, but in the thumbnail, it looked like a wizard bouncing up and down. I don't know. I don't know. So usually Jenna's a little better with the thumbnails in terms of giving you a clue as to what the content is. But let us get to it. And there is a lot here. And I do realize, again, I hate to be brutal with the audience about what it wants, what it likes. God only knows. I mean, it's very hard to determine, even your own audience, what they want, what they don't like, and what you should give them. But I doubt that they, like me, have spent decades and decades in philosophy thinking through these issues of epistemology, metaphysics, truth, confirmation, semantics, so on and so forth. You might wonder, why am I talking about all this? Because that is literally what you talked about. I'm not joking with you. A huge amount of this video was about epistemology. Make of that what you will. So let me just give the background briefly with Jenna for the people who are confused. Jenna is currently Aaron Smith Levin's mistress. I don't know why people get really angry when I keep saying this, but as far as I know, Aaron is still officially married. So yes, he's literally cheating on his wife publicly with another YouTuber. Oh, by the way, Jenna's on Aaron's SPTV Foundation board, which is allegedly a charity devoted to helping ex-Scientology. And on a final note, that Aaron was criticizing the Aftermath Foundation, now the Mike Rinder Foundation, for having married couples on its board. Make of that what you will. And I know probably people are more concerned with the salacious tabloid aspect, and not the, quote, whatever you want to call it, philosophy of mind aspect or philosophy of truth or whatever. But it is there. So let me just try to encapsulate Jenna's video because it was really strange. So the video was not even about the trolls proper. It was literally about asking her audience, do you think I should address the trolls in question? She doesn't name any names, doesn't even name the particular controversies, just says, there are these trolls and they're misleading people. Do you think I should respond? Now, obviously, this seems weird, like she just did a huge video, which was basically just a preface to possibly a response. Like, okay, that's interesting. You can do videos that are speculative, but it seems kind of like, okay, you're not really saying anything, but you are saying something. So it's pretty obvious. Well, again, I don't want to brag. I don't think I'm the main target, by the way. So she's probably talking about me, Zero Dark Tony, Lindsay, Nora, DOA, and a lot of the DOA people. Probably even Kenny, although Kenny is no longer formally affiliated with DOA. But some of the DOA people, again, I don't want to speak for them. I don't know if Stick a Chick has commented on Jenna in particular. I do know that she did a few things poking fun at Jenna. There's also Miss J. You go on and on and on. I guess technically even True Clear Media. There's a lot of possibilities as to who Jenna's referring to, because the people who have been critical of Aaron the last year and of her, wow, I mean, in totality, at least several dozen people, at the very least, maybe 30 some channels. I mean, it's a lot of channels. And again, I used to be fine with some of these channels, but they become way too extreme for me, like Knife Hoarder, who apparently has been an active neo-Nazi for decades. So it's a changing field and it keeps shifting back and forth. People who don't like Aaron and are critical of him and Jenna. And there was so much packed into this video, so I can only deal with some of it. But let me just deal with a little bit. So at one point, Jenna says the problem here is that, yes, the trolls are lying to you. So if Nora says something, or Zero Dark Tony or whoever, they are lying to you. However, she does admit there are kernels of truth, right? There is some truthhood spliced into their accusations and into their allegations and into their commentaries. That is true. However, it's distorting the picture. And again, she doesn't give us any examples, But she says even when she's, quote, complimenting or being nice to someone, she's actually being very mean and toxic. Instead of just taking her words at face value, that she's telling the truth, the trolls are questioning her integrity and whether she's being perfectly honest. Okay, again, this is all very speculative and hypothetical, which we can do in philosophy, right? You're not fighting a particular opponent, you're fighting a position. So, what is her counter argument? Well, it wasn't very much, and it's not even true. So she's like, well, listen, if I say something is true, how can I prove a negative? Because people ask, well, how can you prove this? And she's like, I don't know. Like, it would just be crazy for me to lie. So why would I ever do that? Okay, well, that's not a good argument because you have to finish off the argument. So I guess the argument would be that we do take Jenna's words as gospel. We believe her, we don't. The alternative to not believing Jenna is too horrifying and too ridiculous that she's lying to us, and that couldn't possibly be true. Well, again, I'm not quite clear what the argument is. If it's appeal to authority, namely, Jenna's a good authority, we believe her, that is fallacious. Now, are there times you can invoke an authority figure? It depends. And again, I'm not as brutal as some other people, but I'm just going with what I know. Some people have shared a lot of recent information that when Jenna starts talking about certain topics, whether trauma or recovery or addiction or cults, she doesn't really know what she's talking about. I mean, again, you do have to feel sorry for Jenna. She doesn't have really a formal education. And apparently she's not interested in one because she's been out of the cult for like 20 years and just doesn't want to do serious research on these topics. And according to her own testimony, the kind of content she looks at are like pottery, doing better YouTube editing, and so on and so forth. That is about it. So she doesn't even really sample a lot of videos on cults. And why not? Well, she gave this kind of weird laughing answer, said, oh, no, because I would end myself if I did that. Okay, that any contact with knowledge on cult or addiction in any deep sense would be too damaging to her. So she is not much of an authority figure on cults. So what is she an authority figure on? I guess her own experiences. But her own experiences are just that. Because in another video, again, this is just her, she just doesn't know the basics. She's saying, oh, this is objectively true. No, that's not how it works. If what you know is based on your experience, you can claim it's objectively true. That does not mean it is objectively true. It seems like she's very confused of how facts work. There are facts in the usual physics sense. Those are facts with a capital F. Like, there's no disputing it. Like gravity, for instance, is a real thing. It is indisputable that gravity exists. However, our conceptions of gravity are our conceptions. Those are social constructs. So we're kind of stuck that we only know gravity through concepts. So how do we deal with it? Yeah, these are tough, tricky subjects, and I've been debating them and dealing with them for 30 years. And I just don't think we have an answer. And again, I don't want to exaggerate. I'm like trying to think. When did I first seriously get into this stuff with philosophy of science? I guess it would be, yeah, it would be going back to 97. And to put it mildly, it takes a long time to even get started on these topics like truthhood, confirmation, assertion. But that does not make sense. That is internally incoherent. To say that this is true based on my experience, you're literally admitting it's subjective. It is not objective. There may be objective things, but they're not really relevant. So, do I believe, for instance, Jenna Miscavige is a human being that has carbon in her body? Yes. Do I believe she breathes oxygen? Yes. Do I think she's made of physical matter? Absolutely. That's all objectively true. That's not relevant. I mean, what you're talking about is how various human beings and other human beings interacted. That is not objective. That is an interpretation. Again, I may agree with the interpretation that Scientology is a really vicious, evil, fascist cult, but that is not an objective truth. That is something that we came to an agreement through human consensus. Exactly where she stands on these things, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't think Jenna frankly understands what the hell she's saying because if this or that is objective truth to her, she doesn't know what truth is. She doesn't know what objectivity is, but that's just stating the obvious. She's not really interested in having a deep philosophical conversation. So why is she invoking all these things like skepticism, truthhood, so on and so on? I don't really know. But I will say from the comment section, Obviously, the intended effect was to just have her followers believe everything she says, and yeah, they clearly believe her, saying, "You are so talented and beautiful. You're amazing. I love you. You are so authentic. I love you. I love you. I love your flowers and potteries." None of that makes what you said is true. I mean, I guess you just have to lament for a while that human beings are just stupid, right? Because this is just the game and the way it's played. That okay, you believe her because she's pretty, she's nice, and you like her persona. None of that has anything to do with truthhood. Period. Has nothing to do with the facts at all. But I guess because she has 40,000 people subscribing to her, she's nice and pretty, and she smiles on camera. We believe her. What she's saying is true. Well, you can say many things, but that does not tell us what you're saying is true. You just like the presentation. But just because a pretty girl says something to you does not mean what she says is true, no more than if a really ugly man tells you something, what he says is untrue. I mean, Socrates was notoriously ugly. That's a foundational fact about him that many historians agree with. That yeah, Socrates was kind of ugly. Okay, that does not mean Socrates was a liar. It does not mean Socrates was telling you untruths. It doesn't mean Socrates was an idiot. The fact that he's ugly, right? That by most human standards he's an ugly person. So what? That's one of Socrates' main point himself, saying, "Well, if you just look at me, I'm kind of ugly." But I guess in internet laws today, well, there you go. I don't believe him. He's really ugly, and Jenna's really beautiful. That's truth. That's how that truth works. Okay. Alrighty then. So we now go with truthhood equals beauty. Okay, got it. And popularity too. So there you go. Take your pick. There are many pretty women and pretty men going around today. I mean, I just saw this thing about Jared Leto where he's being accused of some very vicious, ugly things. But hey, Jared Leto's a pretty guy. He's pretty popular. So they can't be telling the truth. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with the Jenna Miscaviges Guide to Truthhood and Philosophy. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. I do like how none of these people actually believe in their own words because when it comes to DOA, they're like, I don't like him. He's evil. He's disgusting. Oh, okay. So you think he's lying because he's ugly? Yes, and he's lying too. He's an actual liar. Okay, so then it's just he's a liar, period, whether or not he's pretty or not. Yes. But then back to Jenna. You're so pretty, Jenna. I loves you. I trust everything you says. You're so talented with your potteries. Okay, I didn't realize being talented in pottery makes you a great philosopher. But there you go. I'm learning new things every day with Jenna. There's a lot more to this video, but yeah, it's a bit of a clown show. But it's an interesting clown show. I'll give her that much.